Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.
Hello and welcome to Africa Investor Today with me, Zalin. Let's begin this Thursday's bulletin with news on politics and economy. The International Monetary Fund said on Tuesday that Mozambique can start unwinding temporary fiscal and monetary policy measures as of next year in the face of an unexpected pickup in economic activity. In a review of Mozambique's performance under a one-year, $176 million IMF loan, the fund said the economy had shown unexpected resilience during the global economic downturn of the past year. It said it expects economic growth in the southern African country to strengthen to 5.5% next year from about 4.5% in 2009. Overall, the country's performance under the one-year exogenous shocks facility has been on track. The top leadership of Zimbabwe President Robert Mugabe's party has decided that he will remain its leader for the next 5 years, with his role as party boss unquestioned. The Politburo of the 46-year-old ZANU-PF party made the decision on Monday, just ahead of its 5-yearly Congress later this week. The body endorsed Mugabe as its sole candidate for the party presidency. Analysts say it is highly unlikely any changes will be made, with the tightly controlled Congress's 5,000 delegates begin meeting on Tuesday. Madagascan Transitional President Andry Rajoelina protested the consensus reached between the three former presidents in Maputo. The communique said Rajoelina considered the resolution of the meeting held in Maputo since last Friday between the three former presidents Marc Ravalomanana, Didier Ratsiraka and Albert Zafy as a proactive approach that does not seek to resolve the current political crisis. The statement said Chisano informed Rajoelina that political camps respectively led by Zafy, Ratsiraka and Ravalomanana seek redistribution and the sharing of ministerial posts allocated to the movement of Rajoelina according to the list drawn up by the mediators on November the 13th. This is Africa Investor Today. We'll be back after this.
Redefining energy means redefining life. At the Petroleum, Oil and Gas Corporation of South Africa, our commitment to greater innovation and greener fuels has made us pioneers in the field of gas-to-liquids technology. It has also earned us worldwide recognition for producing the cleanest fuels through environmentally friendly processes. That's how we've become the international leader in diesel technology. Through pure innovation, pure energy, pure brilliance.
On to companies and markets now. Netcare's UK hospital subsidiary is expected to list on the London Stock Exchange in 2010. Netcare owns 50.1% of the British General Healthcare Group. The South African private hospital group entered the UK market 3 years ago with three partners in GHG, Apex Partners Worldwide, London and Regional Properties, and Brockton Capital. According to Dr. Richard Friedland, Netcare's chief executive, the partners always had a short-term horizon for their stake, but Netcare intended it as a long-term investment. From the outset, the partners therefore had the right to sell their GHG stake after 3 years. Those 3 years expired in May this year. Basil Reed, the listed construction group, has placed a lot of hope in public-private partnerships for its future workload, with projects worth more than 30 billion rand in progress and awaiting finalization. Basil Reed Chief Executive Marius Haynes said yesterday it was clear that South African government intended to push PPPs because it relieves the pressure on the government to roll out these projects. Haynes said PPPs in progress included 2 toll roads, one in Cape Town and the other in Abu Dhabi, with a total of about 10 billion rand, 4 prisons in South Africa worth a total of about 6 billion rand, 2 office blocks in Pretoria to the tune of about 3 billion rand, and the University of Botswana worth about 7 billion rand. A PPP estimated to be worth between 5 billion and 7 billion rand for Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital was also expected to come out in March. That's all from companies and markets. Stay tuned for banking and finance after this.
Afrexim Bank is Africa's leading trade finance bank, an organization dedicated to promoting African trade through credit, risk-bearing and advisory services. We pride ourselves on having local presence throughout the continent and are committed to extending our award-winning trade and project finance programs to unlock private sector development continent-wide. We invite you to become a part of our vision for a strong Africa in a changing world. If you trade within Africa, contact us to support you.
In banking and finance news, analysts estimated that over the rest of the current financial year, Absa may have to write off about 1 billion rands worth of bad investments. Some 800 million rand worth of impairments are for private equity investments showing losses in the recessionary environment. About 150 million rand will need to be written off in respect of Blue Financial Services. Absa has already announced 220 million rand in new impairments for the first half of the current financial year to end in June. Total new comparable write-offs could amount to 1.2 billion rand compared with First Rand's 1.4 billion odd in the past financial year. This shows that South African banks have not emerged as unscathed as generally expected from the global financial crisis and the domestic downturn. A delegation from China's Export and Import Bank is expected to visit Zimbabwe later this month to further explore areas to invest in the country. The team, led by Bank Deputy Director General Lee Shaya-Yang, is expected to hold high-level talks with officials from the Ministry of Finance and the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe in areas of possible cooperation within the financial sphere. Chinese Embassy Third Secretary Xi Len told Newsiana that the visit would be the second following the one in November this year when the delegation met government officials. This is Africa Investor Today. Stay with us.
Africa Investor, the leading African investment magazine, is essential reading for investors in Africa, filled with the very latest in Pan-African investment and finance news. In addition, log on to africa-investor.com to find out more about our exciting capital market infrastructure and tourism events, and our long-standing investable Africa Investor 100 Index series, which tracks over $600 billion of African equities. Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
Finally, in infrastructure news today, International Telecommunication Union has said it wants negotiators at the Copenhagen talks to recognize the role information communication and technology will play to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. According to the ITU statement, it is estimated that more effective use of ICTs could help reduce total global emissions by 15% by 2020, representing carbon savings 5 times more than the estimated emissions for the whole ICT sector in 2020. The Global E-Sustainability Initiative estimates that these reductions could deliver energy efficiency savings to global businesses of over 50 trillion shillings. ITU pointed out to the fact that since the adoption of the Kyoto Protocol in December 1997, the number of ICT users had tripled worldwide, but ICTs find no mention in the current draft to be discussed in Copenhagen. The African Development Bank will lend Kenya 12.5 billion shillings to build a road connecting East Africa's biggest economy with its northern neighbor Ethiopia. The new 123-kilometer route is designed to open up remote regions of Kenya's north that have been isolated from the rest of the country, as well as encourage regional trade. The current route cannot be used in all weather conditions and is in a very bad state. The new road will enter Ethiopia at Moyale. The Tunis-based AFDB has committed 140 billion shillings to various Kenyan development programs to date. Thank you for watching Africa Investor Today. For more news, don't hesitate to visit our website at www.africa-investor.com. Have a wonderful day.
Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.